This is amazing. Huge rooms here. The First World War brought on the evolution of nearly all of the modern military tools we see on the battlefield today. But there are parts of the First World War most of you will never see, or may not even know of. There is an amazing throwback to the world of fortresses, tunneling, and countermining seen for thousands of years before. This was a war fought by millions of young men from almost all European countries, fought with the most modern of weapons of the time. Thousands of men would die in single days from the rain of steel of artillery from all sides. What soldiers did then, and still does today when being shelled or shot at, is dig trenches and foxholes. And you have most likely all seen the trenches of World War I. The ones dug in dirt and mud, and those in cement and steel. Pillboxes would be constructed right up to the front lines. Trenches which led back through the lines where wounded could be transported and treated, and fresh troops move up to the front, the saturation of artillery behind the front lines. But what you may not know is the stories of under the trenches, 40 to 60 meters under the front line trenches, where in some cases thousands of soldiers would live in relative safety. Here on Vanqua Hill, these can still be seen and visited. Well, if you know the right people. And you know my friend, historian Roger Cook. Well, his German female counterpart is a specialist in these trenches and the insides of the tunnels underneath, and she will tell us all the stories of what took place here. In 1914, the French hardly had established a defense when the German army attacked. The fighting eventually turned into a stalemate, and both sides dug trenches. And then both began to dig tunnels and mines under the other side. At points, the front line was only 50 meters apart. Now, the French dug tunnels using the most modern of tools of the time, but their tunnels were rudimentary and crude. The French were, after all, on home territory and simply wanted to vanquish the Germans. So their tunnels held horrible conditions. The French primarily used them for command posts and ammunition depots. However, the Germans, they were here to stay and intended to make themselves comfortable. They managed to dig 15 kilometers of tunnels of 3 levels up to 60 meters down here. And wait until you see them. These were not just mere tunnels. They were small cities. They even had hot running water down here. Just to give you an idea, I've never seen anything like this.
It's the most nondescript little museum I've ever seen. It doesn't even say museum, does it?
That's more to know.
Square kilometer without this one. On the knee
The
to
mine
dig.
galleries.
Yes, yes.
Short-handled pickaxes.
Yeah, we have.
So there weren't rails in most of these tunnels?
Yes.
There were rails?
Not in all tunnels. Only to get out the dirt, you know.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very mini rail.
Yeah.
Over the American hammocks as well.
Yeah. A very special thing. You don't see them.
Yeah,
neck ache from craning my head up a circle.
Can you imagine the fighting? The enemy is right over there, 50 meters away. And these are only the second line trenches, as both armies' first line of trenches were obliterated.
So that's the German trench over there. And you would think a trench is a trench. You wouldn't think there would be 60 meters down tunnels. You wouldn't think there would be tunnels 60 meters down underneath them. And here are the French trenches.
In the First World War, hills were very important always. They did not have the material like the army has nowadays. So the first thing to do, capture the hills, if there is a village on or not. And right away in September 1914, of course, the Germans came along. Nobody here to defend the hill or the village, so the Germans occupied it. The whole thing. They even went away for 1 week and came back, and the French did not think about to take it back. Yes, exactly. When the Germans brought their artillery, quite many cannons on the top of the hill, in the village, which was up there, and then they could fire on the French supply road and the supply train. And then, of course, the French side, they recognized, for us, the hill is more important than for the Germans. We have to take it back. And just on the hill beside, the other side of the hill, the town, village where it is now, there were French soldiers with very few artillery. And in October, by a nasty, very nasty day, they sent 1,200 French soldiers with nearly no artillery preparation there down their hill and up the Vauquois hill. Yes, and up there, of course, were Germans with machine guns. Of course, it was not very nice. But the higher grades, not in the front line, they could not see what is going on here. And they ordered for the next day 700 French soldiers, they were left, to do the same thing again. So nearly all were killed. But the military music was playing on the top of the hill to encourage them.
And then then a couple of several weeks or months later, they got.
Yes, not even 2 months later. On the French side, of course, they brought the artillery necessary and the soldiers necessary, and they got back half of the hill. So the hill, which was German before, the way we are walking on was the first a German trench, but became after a French trench. So the French, they got the south side of the hill, and the Germans, they kept the north side of the hill. And so the heavy artillery from both sides could not fire here anymore, because they would have fired even on their own. And so the mine war started.
How close were they together?
On the top?
Yeah.
8 meters on 20 meters, it depends. There were 2 roads. There was La Rue de Juif and the main road. The Jewish road and the main road. Yes, so they were very, very near together. Of course, they were fighting up there, the men, you know, man to man, but they did not bring anything. And there were mortars as well to fire over the hill, but it did not work very well either, you know. And so they started the mine war. In the craters, there were high trees growing, everything.
Yeah.
Well, the trees in the crater.
But Roger, you want to make the tour?
No, you do the tour.
Okay.
Really
But I just wanted to ask you.
I've been here once in my life.
That's all?
In the town.
Oh dear.
Yes.
I don't know how many hundred times I have been.
And I am taller than the French at the time. I'm banging my head all the time.
So here we are now in a French tunnel, but not a mine tunnel. I call this a working tunnel. We can walk standing up in there, And here in front of us, that's called a descendry. You see the rails going down. Go a little bit forwards to see down. Where you see the last light down there, there is another tunnel going away, but not a big one, but a mine tunnel is going. From down there, 3 mine tunnels were going away. 2 exploded, I was told, and 1 is still not exploded. But don't be afraid, Roger. It will not explode now, because you know the explosive must be wet now.
If it's underwater, it's stable.
But you imagine those poor French soldiers down there in little mine tunnels, very, very, very little. They had to dig lying on the ground. Yes, and then they put everything in those little wagons, like we have seen one in the museum, you know, and they winched it up, and then they put it in the bigger one, you see, and then they carried it out. Outside we can see the rails when we come out, where they brought it out. And nearly all tunnels were handmade, because this here, it's a very special sort of stone. You see?
It's clay, isn't it?
No, we call it argon gaze, but the name of it is spongolite. It's petrified sponge.
Okay.
This sort of stone exists only on 3 places in the whole world. Here in the Argonne, the most, and some in Scotland and in Japan. That's all. So you know, it's very light, you can see, and it doesn't sound like a stone, you see? And it's flexible as well. And it holds as long it is wet. It crumbles when it gets dry, you see.
Okay.
Yes, so that they could do it by hand, because this sort of stone permits it. It was not the same, for example, in the Morton, the tunnels in the Morton. There they have to make them with explosives here, you see. Yeah.
So you can also dig quieter here, because you don't need explosions or machinery. It's easier to dig through.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, quiet
It's
is a thing.
relative,
If you're
yeah.
countermining somebody,
Yeah.
quiet is a big deal.
It's relative easy, exactly, yes. And mine tunnels, they are really very small, you know, on the French side. They were maybe 40 large and about 60, 70 high. The poor French soldiers, they had to lie down to dig, you know. Yes. On the German side, they were a little bit bigger. They were 60 or 70, I talk in centimeter large, and 1 meter 50 high. So the German soldiers could dig on their knees. They had little sandbags under the knees, and so they could walk like this, or work like this, you see. But they had to take out much more of debris, which was a big deal of work as well.
Because they were digging larger tunnels.
Yeah.
Oh.
And here we found even the electricity. When we found the tunnel, it was still intact. But you know, there are some visitors coming. They break everything. You cannot always take care. If you have 20 persons in here, you cannot always take care what they are doing.
Yes, it's a very strange rock, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very strange.
And here was the big ridge, and they winched up the little wagon. It's called ein Grubenhund in German. It's Hund with T, not with D. And then they put all the stones in the big wagon and they carried it outside.
Terrible work, terrible.
Yes.
Did they bring miners from the coal mines?
Yes,
To do this?
the Germans, the first thing they thought when they saw the French already, they made 3 mines, you know, and then the Germans said, yeah, we can do the same thing, and they asked for real miners.
Yes. In the British trenches, they had Welsh coal miners.
Yes,
In
and
British
they
trenches.
were paid, so they had very old trouble.
Ah.
So, and they were exchanged like we have on the right side, you know, where they have been normal, like on the right side of the museum.
Yes, yes.
You see the pipes coming from outside, somebody there, they're turned all the time, and the pipes went until down
The
there.
supports
Yeah.
on the right, the supports for the pipes.
So the manual ventilation, it goes all the way through here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But take care, it's slippery, you know.
I know.
You're getting a special treatment now, do you know?
Yeah, you coming?
Good luck.
Bye. Hey, if these guys could do this 150 years ago,
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen, see you später. But you're right, as long as everything is wet, everything is good. And everything is very, very wet.
I didn't bring your bungee rope.
Oh, it's in the car. I have the keys. So if I get stuck, just come get the car keys. I could also just walk on the damn rail, that's easier. Oh, this is beautiful down here. If I don't see any bats, I'm going to get really disappointed. This is such a different world. This is a totally different world to go in here, to wage a war down here is, I don't even know how to describe it, how it will be to fight down here. I'm going to go on my ass and that's fine. It smells a little moldy. Oh, you can really see here. This is interesting, but you have to go down here to actually get an idea of just how this world was. You're underground here, you're fighting for years, and I'm on the wrong side of the track. You're down here, you're fighting for years. In this mud and tunnels. And this interesting thing about the stone, when it does get wet, it gets muddy and slippery. And you just continue to go down and up, and this is just... And you stand up here with a winch. This is a fair bit of clip. It's just these little wagons we saw. To pull out this much, just to make this space, it will take a long time and a lot of hard work for these guys. But countermining and mining has been a thing in warfare for a very long time. See how these just disappear. And what are we down? Is this the cable? I think this could be the cable from the winch. And more of the rails. This was just to get down here, to get explosives down here, to blow up all your hard work. How annoying is this? You finally do something. You did all this, and then you blow the damn thing up again. I will say, it's actually easier walking up than it is to walk down. But this is what underground warfare was. And then imagine sometimes the teams would meet and they would start a fight back in the day. Sort of reminds me of how you have to imagine hundreds of years ago there's mining and counter mining, and sometimes the mines would meet and all of a sudden you had people fighting out underground with shovels and knives. Did the tunnels ever meet? Did they ever end up fighting down here?
Yes, of course. Yeah, oh, in the beginning, you know, they made prisoners and they were fighting with their tools and everything. But you know, this was only the first time. After it changed, because both sides, French and German, they knew it's hard for everybody, you know. Of course they had to fight, they had to dig, they had to do everything, but we know as well, they met underground and they did not kill each other or hit each other, yes. But you know, all those things were not given outside because that was a shame and was even dangerous to tell that we were talking with the enemy, but we know it happened, but not the first year. You know, like it is still nowadays, the governments from all countries, they told their people to hate people from other countries.
Yeah.
And they found always reasons for this. So all the soldiers, they went to war, they hated the others. But when they were more than 1 year in the war, then they understood what is war. And so they hated more the war than they hated each other.
Yeah. And all this is trenches.
Where, before we climbed up, look, that's the continuation of the tunnel we were in. And there's a rail goes on there to drop the debris, the rock.
To make it like it was before, after the photos we have got.
It's amazing it could just have gotten forgotten for so many years.
There are many more in here, but we don't know exactly where. There must be on the other side, on the German side, the whole station inside. But how to find it? Of wine in a day.
A liter of wine.
1 liter wine every day. Yep.
That's what they gave the engineers and the measuring line.
A bit more money and a little bit more holidays. After the mutineries.
Back to the Underground War. Again, I'm assuming I'm going in here. I think I am.
Heat of the sun, and Pétain saved de Gaulle from being limogé.
Around, you see. But 20 years ago, you never talked about this.
How many bodies do you still think is lying out here?
I don't know.
We have no idea. We don't have any idea, do we?
No. No. A few years ago, we found a mass grave the other side. 23 German soldiers. Yes, but it is the grave. And I don't mind. There is again one of those trees. He has at least 8 branches coming out.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful tree. The tunnel will come out.
This will be the exit of that tunnel.
Okay. So when they had time, would they also use stones in the trenches to build walls, like here?
Who?
Anybody?
Yes, of course.
Any
the Germans
materials?
in any case.
Yes.
And you know, for the trenches, the sides holds. Of course, I think the French sometimes they took stones as well, but not so often. Here, yes, because here it was a position war. But you know, sometimes people is wondering why the Germans they have so nice trenches with stones, with concrete, with iron, and the French they had just things like this, you know, made with gabions or corrugated iron, with chicken wire, things like this.
Yeah.
And they think, yes, our poor French soldiers, they didn't have anything to make nice trenches, things like this. Or they say, yeah, they couldn't do it. No, not at all. The reason is quite different. Because, you know, the Germans, they were not in their country. They were the invaders. The first thing they had to do, to make something for the soldiers where they are in a relative security for a little while, you know. The French soldier, he was in his country, and his order was to push out of the country the enemy, and not to make nice trenches, to be
Stay
nice
for a
there
long time,
with
yes.
a barrel of wine in the corner, you know, and the piano in the third line or something like this. Not at all. For the French soldier, it was to go forwards, to attack. That's why they sent Nivelle and Mangin to there, yes.
Was that a British idea that we don't want to make the trenches too comfortable so people won't leave them?
Yes, it's all the psychology of it, yes.
Where the bad Germans
There-
cut down with
There's the
machine
tree
guns.
of liberty.
Oh, yeah.
The tree that did or did not get, well, it didn't.
They had to go away. The Germans had to, because the French artillery from the Argonne forest took it as a target, you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, so-
anything that you can use to identify as a marker for artillery has to go.
And that's,
Church towers,
yes,
anything that
that's
sticks
why,
up.
Yes, they destroyed, the Germans burnt the churches because the towers were used as an aiming point.
Yes.
It was nothing to, my students say, oh, it's because they were Catholics and not, or Protestants, not Catholics. I said, no, it's nothing to do with religion. It's practical. They had to destroy the aiming points.
You aim 2 inches off the tree, off the mark. That's yes, exactly.
But
We do the
it's
same thing
always the
today.
way you tell the story. If you
Yeah.
tell the story of the tree, of course, you can cry.
Oh, the tree,
you know. But before the French artillery was firing on, you know,
Yes.
he was surely already a little bit
Well,
damaged by
as
the
you
French
see, it was
artillery.
pretty badly smashed up.
It's on top of a hill everyone's fighting for. The tree
Yeah.
probably had seen some
But
sort
here
of damage.
you have a very nice cherry tree.
Okay.
Oh,
This is a war tree. You know, when they all were gone by explosions or shelling, they were gone. But under in the ground, the roots were still there. And after a while they grow, but not a trunk is coming out, the branches are coming out. So those trees, they have all 3, 4 or 5 branches which became trunks. You see?
That's your favorite tree?
No.
That's not your favorite tree. You
No,
talk about your
no.
favorite tree.
But I like it. I like it. He knows it. I like him as well.
but this was sculpted by one of the men who actually fought in the tunnels. And so he is portrayed, one of his comrades holding a defensive grenade at the entrance to a tunnel. This is Lebel rifle. And beside him, one of his comrades, well, I mean, they said he's either sleeping or he's in a tunnel collapse. When you get up close, I think the tunnel has actually collapsed.
So that's the German trench over there. And you would think a trench is a trench. You wouldn't think there would be 60 meters down tunnels. And here are the French trenches. This is an interesting place to do lawn mowing, yes. Would fire or napalm not be quicker? I mean, it will be more realistic.
Could be dangerous. There is maybe explosive under there.
The Germans, they used the first what they called fire sticks or smoke sticks to capture the fort du Camp Romain, which protected Saint-Mihiel, which made the Saint-Mihiel salient. They captured the giant fort, like Troyes, same size, same techniques used, but the Germans used primitive flamethrowers. Called them fire sticks. I've seen a reference, smoke sticks. But the defenders, they could not survive that. They'd never seen anything like that before. And they fought for hours inside the fort, inside the tunnels, etc. And finally they realized that the fort was filling up with German soldiers, and they surrendered. Now the French wanted to copy flamethrowers. And instead of capturing a German example with the tank on the soldier's back, a pressurized tank with a tube, with the fire stick, the lance. No. They turned to the only people in the French army who knew about fire. The sapeurs, the firemen of Paris, who are part of the army. They are armed. They parade on the Champs-Élysées with their weaponry. Okay. And they helped liberate Paris in 1944. They went to the French firemen in 1915, was it? And they said, help us copy the German flamethrowers. So they came here with tanks filled with petrol, with a hand pump, and a tube, and a lance. And they came here at night, and they were before the second line of German trenches. The first line of German trenches was here, blown to pieces, blown in the air. And they played the flames on the second German trench. And the Germans had never expected this, and they started to flee in panic. But at that very moment, because we were at the top of a hill, imagine no trees here, the wind changed. And they didn't have the pressurized German equipment, they were pumping the petrol by hand. And that didn't give them enough pressure to keep up the flames, and the wind blew the flames back and set the firemen on fire. And you've got, how many here? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them were burnt to death, and the sergeant had to run over and turn off the taps on the petrol tanks to save the rest of his men. And that, instead of doing it correctly, they tried you know,
Expediency.
expediency, and it was a disaster.
Expediency
So
is
every
usually-
year the firemen come here and they lay a wreath to their comrades. I mean, the firemen, they swear an oath to save life.
Nice German trench. But after all this American bombardment, 2 nights before, day and night, there was nothing left.
But it's still amazing you can see the trenches so clearly, and especially in a place that has been blown up so well from beneath and above.
Oh, they're doing work again. All work again.
Yeah, so this is the German trench,
Second line.
second line, first line, French line, right over there.
Yes. And only the second line of French trenches remains. The first lines, both first lines have been blown to pieces.
Just like the German first line.
And here you have a little position for a mortar, trench mortar, just in front of you on the right. This is not farm barbed wire. This is the real stuff.
This year.
Vicious. You get stuck in that, you are in big trouble. There is a little lookout with
A sniper.
an armored shield. But normally the sniper would fire along the trench, not across. He's too vulnerable if.
He has to fire on the front. On the
But the
French
French over there, he can't really fire that way
No,
because
no,
of the holes. Yeah.
side. Here the Germans go from the first line to the second line through the cellar of the house which was here.
Oh, that's the cellar of a house they took over. So when I brought my girlfriend here, her phone rang. And when we looked at it, it said, Orange says, welcome to Germany. And I described that story to my next group of students, and behind me, a young girl, she said, beep, beep, beep. Oh, look, Roger. Orange says, welcome to Germany.
You see those iron things with the holes in it?
Yes.
These are called the Struckmann-Eisen or the Locheisen. The Germans, they made it in 3 sizes. You could make everything with this, like the Meccano, like you have as a child, you know. They took it in the concrete to fortify the concrete. They could make tools with it, or carpets, or beds, even a wheelbarrow they could make with it. Everything you could make this. And it
I
existed
wonder
in
why
3
they
sizes.
stopped using that for World War II, because that's a brilliant idea.
It was another war. This is my tree.
This is your tree.
It's a marble tree. When we met each other 40 years ago, that hole was here.
Oh.
You see how long? I will see how are his leaves today, because 1 year, about 12 years ago, he was ill, you know. His leaves, they were all full of holes, and they were brown and black. And all the time I was thinking about him. And then the year after, he was very well. And I'm sure when I was ill, he was thinking about me too. Huh?
So he was here during the war,
I think he got just after.
just after.
Yes.
He's not entirely straight.
Yeah.
He's a little crooked.
Yeah, but in the things like this, how can you go on straight? Nobody can go on straight here.
Does a
With all
bird
this around.
make a nest in
Yes.
him?
No.
No, no bird.
No. But somebody made a hole, you know. It was not nice. That's for true. But never mind. He is okay.
Oh, that's lovely.
Huh? He's nice.
And what is a fruit tree or a
Marble tree or maple tree. how
A
do you
maple
call it?
tree?
Yes. Here we don't go down and we don't come up anymore. Not everybody did like it.
Really? Seems like a wonderful hole to me.
Yeah.
Is it collapsed inside or
No.
no?
No. But people did not like to come up here. It was a bit dangerous, slippery.
Oh, okay.
So it's my type of
So
thing.
while we are going down now, we are on the top of the trench we have seen just up there. You see? We could dig it out if you have nothing to do. One day you come for a few weeks and we have a shovel and a pick, you know, you can work a little bit. And you can see it's the top of the trench. You can see the concrete, the top concrete down there as well. And here you have the communication trench going to the first line. From the second to the first, from the first to the second.
Well, they made a statue of Montjean.
And here, look, if you have a moment, you have the concrete from the top of the trench has gone, pushed by the roots, like the stones, but you still have the iron there.
Oh, look, yes,
Yeah.
the construction iron,
Yes.
which was staked into the. And there's another piece of it over there.
Yeah, that's very interesting the way that was used. I never
it?
realized this.
Another fragment goes under here. Nice. I thought that was always a modern repair. Ah, you see, we have the expert now with us.
I like Vauquois. Even if I'm ill and have a Vauquois tour to do, I come here, and when I'm here, I don't feel any illness, any aching, even if I have a headache and I come here, I'm okay.
Right. Steel shield. Okay. Oh, ouch.
Yes, that's why I gave you a helmet.
Yes.
I know it can't be hold.
So now we are on the German side. Yeah, just down there, I cannot see the same.
So you say we go right.
Yeah, you go right, and the gate right, there is a room.
Okay. Can I go left first?
Need a torch.
Can I go left first?
You go right, not you go left there, you go right.
Can I go left first?
If you want.
I want.
If you want, but not too far.
I know. Always trust me to.
So they had short Germans in here, not big ones, not my size. Oh.
Wow, this is so bloody authentic.
Come back in half an hour, you have to come back.
Okay. So come back within half an hour is what you said. Now.
Just look at these tunnels. It's continuing. Gallery goes up to another gallery there. Just fit my head. There's a small collapse. That's fine. This is amazing. Leading back to. Oh wow. This. Alright, I can just keep doing this. I can just keep continuing. But we have a tour that goes the other way. Look at this ceramic in the ceiling. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is a maze. This is amazing. Huge rooms here. A command would sit here. And this just continues. I am not done with this tunnel. This is lighting up in the ceiling. But yes, they are quite short. I am actually crouching to some degree. This is amazing. How much there's here underground. Well, the Germans always did know how to dig.
This is amazing.
Okay.
This is absolutely amazing. How long are the tunnels here?
I cannot tell you how long it is, but if you go quite far, you come to the mine tunnels.
This is amazing.
But in the mine tunnels, you cannot walk standing up.
I know, I could continue in there.
Yeah. The mine tunnels is another tour. You go in there, Roger,
Oh, right.
in there,
Yeah.
and you go as well. I come after in there.
To the right.
Yes, go in.
Oh. Oh.
They dress the table for you in there.
Magnificent.
They really did a job here. Is that a canister or a shell? Oh, well.
Well, it's a gas canister, I think.
Oh, fine.
And here they have railway sleepers.
A little
French
stove.
railway sleepers to hold up the roof. Ah.
Oh, I've seen the roof on the other side. It holds up just fine.
So this
That's
is
bent
not
in the middle.
this is not a sleeping room here.
No.
It's a guard room. You
A
know,
guard
it's just
post.
near the entrance.
A
There
guard
were
post.
always 7 or 8 men. You know, if there was some trouble, half of them they went in to
Yes.
alert the others, and the others went up to help. But we find 180 sleeping rooms in here, always for 14 or 16 men. Yes, and all the rooms were made the same way. On the ground were wood, on the top was corrugated iron, and against the wall they nailed tar paper.
Tarred paper.
Tar paper,
For the moisture.
exactly.
Yes.
And we put 2 beds over there. If you go a little bit by side, Roger, so we can maybe film them. These were the beds where the German soldiers slept in. No mattresses, nothing, because the mattresses in this kind were made from straw or horse hair, and it would be rotten immediately. So each soldier had a woolen sheet, it must be enough. But it was never really cold here, you know.
No, it's not bad. It's the same temperature always here, isn't it?
Yes.
So, okay, speaking of myths and stories, was there rats everywhere?
Rats were everywhere, where they did find something to eat. Rats, mice and other bugs. They were everywhere. They never could get rid of them.
No, you never can. Rats are the most successful organism after grass, I think. You have grass and rats. And cockroaches. And you could never get rid of them.
Yeah.
They always survive. These railway sleepers are incredible. Cast steel railway sleepers, French ones, that they took.
The Germans began the underground mine war with 60 tons of explosives, causing 108 French deaths. At the height of the war, 1,200 German soldiers lived underground here, in underground barracks and tunnels, with over 184 rooms found so far. Kitchens, hospitals, command centers, and barracks.
As I told you, they had electricity and telephone everywhere.
Wow.
We saw in the museum the photo with the 2 big generators.
Yes.
Yeah, they gave electricity day and night. And here, if you see the light, we have to put little wooden boards on it, because when there is a light, you know, then the moss is growing, and sometimes very big grass is growing, and we cannot see the light anymore.
Oh, yes.
That's why we had to cover it. Yes.
Yeah.
I could
Still to this day.
put my salad in there, you know. It would grow, yes. Sometimes very big. Farmkraut. You know what it is?
Yeah,
Farmkraut,
yeah, yeah.
Yes, it was growing in there.
It's
Yes.
almost called it translates to farm weeds, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of.
But how, the psychology now, how can you sleep here knowing that the French are digging a tunnel under where you sleep?
You have to sleep. You have to sleep.
You have to forget that.
Yes,
That
of course.
one moment, boom.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, What do you, I mean, you could also get shot sticking your head over the parapet every day, so I mean...
Yes, that's true.
But you know, we often ask ourselves, or visitors, they ask me, how could they survive in here, down here, or in the Fort Duomo or somewhere? But you know, in this time, more than 100 years ago, people had not a nice life like we have now.
That's true.
Huh? You know, they had no heater, just a chimney or a fireplace in their houses. Many people, they had no bed, they slept in the straw. They had not warm and cold water, even sometimes not even cold water in the houses, you know. And they had a hard life from beginning of their life.
You are absolutely right. That is something people they never remember, is that these people have a short lifespan generally. Most of these soldiers, the first pair of new boots they ever got was in the military. The first new suit of clothes they got was in the military. They never had this in civilian life. They worked hard physical jobs and they generally didn't have anything. This was joining up with the military was almost the most exciting adventure of their lives.
Yeah.
And there's a British soldier that wrote home that's been reproduced. That's why I didn't find it. I just know of the letter where he was asked after the war why he signed up because he might die. He said yes, but I had 20 good years. And this was the most exciting adventure of my life. I get to travel to see different countries. I have new clothes. I have all of this. I would never have had this if we stayed home and worked in a coal mine. It was a different time with different expectations of life.
And then, a matter of fact, the families, they had many children. And many died, you know, many died. But those who survived their babyhood, and the childhood and all the work they had to do very young, you know, and even after they had to work on the countryside, on the fields and the farm and in the towns. With 7 years they were in factories and things. If they survived this, they could survive here. We, 2 weeks in here, we would be ill or dead or mad.
Yes.
But they had another life. And this I explain always my visitors, because they don't think about. They think the life has always been nice like this, you know. Yesterday evening I put on my washing machine, you know. Yes, you see, I made my bed, all the sheets, everything in the washing machine. I dried it and I could return it on my bed, all clean, you know. And I said, I have a nice life, haven't I? You know, my fridge is full of things. What do you want to eat? You want a sausage? You want cheese? Or you want to drink a glass of wine? Or a martini or something? I have it. And so I think sometimes I have a good life. Why I am bothering all the time about everything?
100 years ago, this is not the life you would have had.
Yes, if I think about my grandparents, you know.
Yeah. I'm guessing we're going up.
No.
We're not going up.
No.
Am I going up?
You cannot go far.
Wow.
But here, take care, it's always very slippery.
Yes. So this collapsed up here.
Yeah.
Heck of a staircase. I've seen staircases that was built far more recently that are worse shape than this.
Yeah.
And this has been blown up. Just saying, we don't build things the way we used to anymore.
No. But we go down here. If you want to go first, down there you will maybe meet some salamanders, fire salamanders.
Usually I meet bats, but...
I know one, I know very well one. I call him Fritz.
Maybe he knows my favorite bat.
Ah,
I have a favorite bat.
good.
Actually, quite a few favorite bats, actually. I usually name them. Fred, actually. I don't know why. Yeah, yes, I have. My bats are usually named Fred.
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah, mine is Fritz.
Close enough.
I have no more bats since I put in the four, because they used to fall down the chimney.
Oh, yes.
I used to
Oh, I
buy them.
have a kitchen. I have many. I will see if we have a salamander here. No. Oh, the Pierre was with his
Oh yeah,
his 2 years old. They went to
Of course, there'll be construction wood.
A shovel. A German shovel.
And
There was a stair going down where you film, but you had to close it.
there, that way?
No, in front of you, you saw there was a stair going down.
Oh, there.
Yes, and they made a little river in there, you know, when it's hardly raining, then a lot of water comes in, and so it runs away. But before there was a stair and you could go down. And here on the left side they are working for something, but I don't know for what they are working there.
Was that a little stove?
Yeah.
So how did they plan this, or did they just dig and dig?
They had it was everything was planned. They had their engineers, and they cut say of half a meter, you know, to come from one place to the other and to join another one.
Yes.
Down there, about 50 meters deep, I have one place. They joined, and there is 60 centimeters difference, you know. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Westphalen's followed.
Yeah. There you see the German soldiers digging, you see?
Yes.
And they had a smile.
Well, they've been taking pictures of. They have to smile.
Of course. But it took a while this time to take a picture, you know?
The plates.
Yes. Yeah.
They weren't all with the flash, with the powder. They had newer cameras then.
Well,
That's how they were taking aerial photographs of the trenches.
My grandfather's 1912 Kodak was a plate camera.
Yes, the army had this, but no, this is a private photo.
Yeah.
No, that's a bit different.
It's amazing how many tunnels they built just in this is a small place.
The French, they made 8 kilometers, the Germans 16 kilometers.
16 kilometer
I will
tunnel.
show you a map later, yes.
So this is not the only place they tunneled during the First World War, is it?
No, we have Mine War, we have other places aussi. À La Roche-Rocher et Les Éparges.
And also on the way across the Wavre, there's a hill at the end of the Wavre where there is a mine warfare. I don't remember the name of it. There's a big monument to the American soldiers in the village. And, do you know?
Yep.
Remember when I showed you those red barriers they stuck out, and I said those are crash testing barriers for dummies? Remember? They stuck out on the left and right of the road.
For the intent and purpose of this conversation, and there's no follow-up questions, then yes, I
The
do.
next part is, we had just come through a forest, and on the top of the hill, as we descended down to that little ridge, there was a mine warfare site there as well. So they were quite frequent. These mine battles.
I guess there's not a whole lot of graffiti or anything here. They can't write in the clay.
I can show you a little bit graffiti down there. Then we go a little bit more down. But you know, of course, first the Americans came in, and after the village people, they took out what they needed, you know, because
Yeah.
they didn't have anything anymore. And after about 80 years, nobody took care, you know. Young people came in making parties, so everything
Oh, that
was
thing,
gone.
that too.
Like they do in the forts, which are bad.
It's amazing how elaborate this is.
Yeah.
It's not just a tunnel to a hole or...
If you look on the walls like this, you can see how they worked with tools, handwork, you see?
Yeah.
As I told you, as it is a soft stone, a
Yeah.
light and soft stone.
Fossilized sponge.
I may have used that expression about people.
It's quite useful.
I mean, I'm afraid I may have to use it from now on if I haven't. It's a quite good expression. Although somebody may call that about me. It's funny how many of them looked so similar in facial.
Yeah.
But the walls, And we thought we made a lot of tunnels during the Second World War. I guess now I know where we got the ideas. And all these nails on the walls here, they were for the tar paper.
For the tar paper, yes. Yeah, it's still one. Just let me see. Ah no, it's a rock because they are so long slugged, you know.
Yeah.
This here you have on the right a listening post. Yeah, to listen where the others are digging. As long as they make noise, there is no danger. But when the noise stops.
Ah yes, that's when they're about to...
But I'm not sure that it is a German one, this one.
He looks very French with that
And
moustache.
he has American boots on. Yes.
He doesn't look American. Well, then again, it's a different time, isn't it? Are they American boots?
The boots, yes, not the rest.
I thought they were long. Aren't they long riding stiefel?
No, no.
No? Huh.
And then you have again one of those Grubenhunds over there.
I like the little ovens. Oh, these. Oh, no.
You have a manual water pump on the picture, and you have the same
Oh,
beside.
yes, that's what that is.
Oh, wow.
That's what that is, a little water pump.
Oh yes.
This is a little bunker stove, isn't it?
Yeah.
They were so cute during World War One.
Yeah, they're nice.
A hole there for the chimney, for the stove.
Yeah, yes, or air condition or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a stove was down there.
They would have ventilation here too. After
Up
they were
here
done.
they did not need ventilation because there are so many opening entrances and exits.
Yeah.
But down there, they needed it.
Yeah, because there are at least holes and indents.
Yeah.
Well, indents at least.
And now, look at this photo. That's one of my favorite photos. I like it. When I saw it first, what do you see first when you see those two officers? The first thing I saw were the shining boots.
Shiny boots, yeah.
Yes.
Person has to do it, yeah.
Down here, yes. They are surely not here to work. They are here to inspect if the workers have done their job. But you can see as well, you can see all the electric lines up there and the telephone lines along the walls as well.
Yeah.
And then you know where it's a little bit difficult for us to walk now because there are holes in the middle. It was not like this during the war because all the ways in here, they were concrete, you know. But with all those years when water was running in, you know, like waterfalls, took away the concrete. And now it's difficult.
So
for
there's
us.
concrete on the floors?
Yes.
Ooh.
On some places you still can see it, I will show you. Yes,
Wow.
of course. Have you been in the Camp Marguerite?
We have, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, in the forest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There as well, all the ways are made from concrete.
Oh yes, it's the
And
little
you have
paths.
then- Yes. I've had a photo of it.
Yes.
Take care, sometimes it's full of water. No, it's dry. There is a map on the left, but I have a better one a little bit far on.
Well, maybe I can convince you to email it to me.
To email?
Me the map,
Ah,
if you have it.
not Yeah, it's on the wall, yes.
But they were happy to be here rather than in the trenches.
I'm not sure. I don't know. You know, it's like the fort. The soldiers did not like to be in the fort. You know, I met soldiers when I started. And I was always wondering, and they told me they prefer to be outside than in the fort. They said, when we were outside in the trenches, we saw the shells coming, and sometimes we could know where it will explode and where we can hide. But when you are in the fort, you have the big bang and everything comes down. And you never think here it was a little bit the same.
How deep underground are we here?
until about 60 meters.
60.
Only one tunnel, they went down until 100 meters, but there I will show you on the map.
But I mean, you're pretty safe down here, I would think. No shells is going to go down.
Many died anyway underground, digging underground and carbon monoxide.
So were there more accidents?
Of course. When you see the diary of Hermann Hoppe, he was here 4 years, and he writes, they had to make a listening post and they came through one of those rooms. There were 23 soldiers, they died because of carbon monoxide, because not far from there was an explosion. And he writes as well, when they died by accident on digging, they had to let them down, They let them in the water.
They buried them there.
Yes, they could not, when they could not take them out.
16 kilometers, that's all of that. The city där Sudan is what, 7 kilometers?
It really is fun to see the moss growing here in the light. I know.
Of course, when you want to have a look.
I was looking at the moss here.
You see
This is so much
see
fun,
the farm crowd?
right?
Oops. Oh, yeah. I looked the farm crowd and not on the ground. Here must be somewhere a switch.
Well, here looks like a room that's bricked up.
Yes, but
Maybe.
there must be somewhere a switch. Why is there no light here? Yeah, I don't know. But why have we no light here? Just wait a moment.
There's a bulb.
I mean, we do have lights.
No, somebody switched us the light off.
Oh.
Oh.
But Pierre, he told me. Yeah, if you want to see a graffiti, here I
Yes.
can show you one. So, look,
Blue grains.
there is one.
Yes.
You have a Bavarian man, made this 1917. The minor sign and the Bavarian flag. You see, HB. If it means Hofbräu or his name, I don't know. And here you have a helmet. Here, he knows I am here.
Well, that's all right. We have lights.
Look at the blue graining in the stone. Round the corner there was blue. Can you see it?
Yes.
Pieces of blue everywhere. Strange, isn't it?
There you have drain pipes. They are not new, They are from the First World War. And they
Really?
Yes, and I especially looked, you see, and they came aus Baden. Now it's Baden-Württemberg, where I come from, you see.
So they had laid drains here too.
Of course.
I mean,
You can imagine if you're 60 meters deep, how quickly the water can come up. And then everywhere you see a lot of bottles. And first of all, champagne bottles. So don't think they made big parties here. Because a champagne bottle was something very precious for the water. Very often the water was not good anymore.
yeah.
So the Germans, they made seltzer water. And they made a seltzer water fabric. It was of course not a fabric, it was just a
Bottling plant.
Yes, so they boiled the water, they filtered it 3 or 4 times, as many times it needed. Then they put it in champagne bottles and they put in bubbles like in Perrier, Kohlensäure.
So they needed the champagne
And
bottles for
so
the pressure, yes.
it could hold a few days, you know, and you still could drink it. Yes.
So some of these still have corks in them.
Yeah. But they must be empty.
There's a rest of a cork in them. So these were all water. They were like, no. They weren't
Yes.
a raving bunch of alcoholics. They were just drinking water.
Oh, I don't think the German soldiers very often got champagne.
No.
But like this, the water holds in the bottle for a while. Here you will have something. I couldn't believe it when I saw it for the first time. So here. You have a water tank up there. You fill it up with water. You have here a pipe coming out.
Yes.
The pipe, it's still here, but it came down here, under here, in the other room, and there was a heater, and the iron pipe went through the heater, and warm water came up. So they could wash themselves with warm water. Ein Durchlauferhitzer, I don't know the English word for that. When in this time, when they found this, they didn't even have in all houses cold water.
No.
They invented at 18 meter under the ground here ein Durchlauferhitzer.
But for World War I, that is amazing.
Yeah, as I told you, I couldn't believe it when I saw it for the first time.
And it goes on in there, the pipe.
Wow.
Yes, yeah. One goes down and the other, and goes through the heater and comes up again. You know, for the Germans it was important to keep the soldiers clean. Not only to keep them clean, of course, as well, but because of epidemics. You know, if you get washed, then you don't catch a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
And the illnesses under here are sometimes the same than overground as well, you know, dysenteries and vomitings like this and allergies, but underground, after the medicine we found, there were oft fungus illnesses and bronchial.
Bronchitis.
Yes, and the poumon, the lungen,
Lungs.
the lungs, yes.
So
Because we found medicine, you know, so we could see it.
now this leads me to the next question. Where are the toilets?
Toilets are inside, but then they had to be taken out to empty them. But outside there are showers and toilets.
16 kilometer tunnel in water here. That's.
I don't understand. Like people like this could lose the war. They invented so many.
Well, because they had brilliant people from the middle management, from the lower ranks, from the lower higher management, but the top was full of bad ideas. And I mean, Ludendorff wanted to annex everything, but I mean, he did.
Well, the worst example of all is the Second World War in Japan, where the Navy had aircraft factories making planes for the Navy, and the Army had aircraft factories making planes for the Army, and they never cooperated.
I mean,
They were two separate economies.
I mean, that's even worse. The Japanese Navy and Army was actively fighting each other. They were actually not sharing intel where the Americans were.
Yeah.
I found the kitchen.
Filled kitchen.
Yes.
Eine Gulaschkanone.
No, it's not. Nein, das ist es nicht. Ein Gulaschkanon kam in die kleine Wagen, wo durch die Diesen ist ein Kocher.
Ja, genau. Aber es ist eine Feldküche.
Das ist ein Feldküche, eine riesige Feldküche. This is almost the size you would see in the big forts in Mutzig.
Yeah.
And you would put the big vat in here and you cook, what, 500 liters
Have
of...
you been in Mutzig?
Yes, I have. I know
Oh,
Bernard
what a
well.
fort.
Oh yes.
You know Bernard.
When I saw it first, I was ashamed to come back to ours. Which were in the same time. I know. That's it.
Have you been to Wagner?
No.
You have to go to Wagner. Oh, and here's the ventilation pipes in place. It's not much different than the Second World War tunnels, is it?
Yeah.
Although they had nicer creature comforts here.
Yes, and you see it impressed us the table.
It is.
No more beer, no more whiskey.
I mean, mean, it is almost cozy.
That's a bell up there, no?
So did any of these people in here survive the big blasts?
Yes.
They did.
We,
There was the flat
we
Earth
have the
day.
diary of one German who was here 4 years. It was Hermann Hoppe. You see, this was all made by the water, you know. Normally it was concrete. You can see on the side,
Yeah.
it was concrete. When the water came in, and it was, everybody was taken away.
Yes, I noticed as I was sliding down it.
Yeah.
Is his diary translated to English, do you know?
German.
It's no German. Here's another cook.
German, yeah.
They really hit the... as long as it wasn't a tall chef that was going to stir this.
I don't know if they were really making to eat something, to put some pig bones on there and this. I think rather that they made hot water here for the hospital which was down there.
Aha.
You know, because the kitchen we had up there, so I don't think it was a kitchen here.
Yeah, it's very confined to
They
make...
needed hot water down there.
Yeah.
Well, then comes the green plants, the moss is coming right here.
You gotta love
Yeah.
Right
that.
to the left, yeah. Wow, the big ladles, oh boy.
And all the storage tanks.
Oh, these are things they found when they were.
Oh, there was actually a hallway here. I did not even notice there was a hallway into the to the heater there.
Because here was the wood.
Yeah.
Because not long time ago it was full of wood here.
You still have some of the tar paper that's still hanging here.
Yes, a little bit, yes.
It is.
Yeah. So it was easy to bring the wood for the heater just in here.
Yeah. That makes sense. I noticed it was there. Low ceiling.
Railway lines. Huh.
Well, we'll hold up things. Although I certainly don't have the impression this would collapse just that easy.
Behind here, behind the door which is closed, was the hospital, a very big room. But it's too dangerous because after the war, you know, the French and the Americans, they took together all the explosive what was left, what they could find, and they had to destroy it. So they put it in the middle of the hill and blew it up. So many things were destroyed.
So the hospital is partially destroyed.
But then, you know, when the Americans, they helped the French to blow up things, as well ammunition. Once, a long time ago, I had a couple, and they wanted to see places normally nobody wanted to see, you know. And I asked them why they want to see these places. So they showed me about 10 or 12 photos of young American men, handsome men, and they were blinded in the First World War. They helped the French to blow up ammunition and explosives, but probably were they not more prepared than the French, and they looked in the explosion and were blinded, you know. And they went, like in Taiwan, you know, as well, they went to these places, you know, where they could blow up those things. And they wanted to make a book, they wanted to send it to me, but like always, the Americans, nearly always, after they don't think about anymore.
Tell me about it. Does the door open? I just want to have a look.
I never tried to open it. I will try it, but you know the stones can fall down. Yeah, normally we are not allowed. So you can have a look in. Your light is better than mine. Oops. It's very. I let you in the place.
I don't think it's any more dangerous than this place where all your colleagues have used this for storage. Because this is where all the material you're working.
Take a look on your right. It was a very big room.
So this isn't going anywhere. You still have the in the ceiling. Yeah. Oh, this isn't. Yeah. I see down here.
Yeah.
That this is where the collapse is.
You come to another room.
Yeah.
Down there, the bigger one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a big room. It doesn't seem big now because with all this stuff in here.
And down here it's collapsed. This is where it's come down.
Yes.
And you can see it's sooted on the roof here.
Yeah.
And there's a very little. The first room here I think is fine. And I think this is where you have all your stuff, which is a good idea.
Yeah.
You need these things. But yeah, this is...
You know, they
Crazy.
had the French, but they were not prepared like the French. Why were they blinded by me? This is a concrete.
Sandbag.
No?
A concrete bag.
Concrete.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, is that outside? There's a door.
I don't think you come outside there.
Why is there a door?
No, because we are probably to another room. But not outside. Because we are underground now.
That's the room there then.
I'm walking on 100-year-old wet wood. Well, somebody did something here.
And all the field barriers, the larger ones are German.
Is the gate open?
I think that I can hear birds from here. I think that might be an out. Or at least an adjacent to an out, but it's
But there
sealed.
must be a stair going up.
It is sealed. It is sealed though.
Yeah, yeah.
But it would make sense if there was an exit nearby the hospital, because you'd want to carry wounded not so far.
Ouch.
This room we don't know exactly what it was. Maybe to make operation or a chapel or something like this.
I mean, there's. It looks like a little bit like the hospital in size. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it belongs to the hospital.
It does, doesn't it? There's another hospital room. That would sort of make sense. It's amazing what they had built down here. So were the French underground tunnels were not this elaborate?
But it's not the same. The same.
Yeah.
A lot of wood supports here. Curious.
Oh, this is the other end of that room.
It's a big one too.
Yeah, it goes in
You can
farther
see
as well.
There were many accidents. And here we go to the left, but we come back afterwards.
Aha.
But it's a pity they switched off the light, because down there is a big hole. Maybe you can see down with your light. I will see if I can switch it on anyway, but I don't think when the light is out.
Roger, there's light.
It goes on. Yes,
Yeah.
it goes on.
Roger, there's a low ceiling this tunnel, just saying. Just in case you hadn't noticed.
All the time. Yeah, this is
Low ceiling, Roger.
good bang line.
Wow.
And here it's another way to get up the debris.
So how am I going to get down there with there's only half a ladder?
No, the ladder is not from here.
Oh,
Here you cannot go down with
that's what I mean. That's only half a ladder. How can I get down there?
No, just the ladder was here. It's not possible.
I know.
But here you can see it if it's on, yeah.
It's on.
Until the end. So there was a pulley up there, you know.
Ooh, that's a long way
Yeah.
down.
A pulley to get up the debris, and here you see the rails from there, they're coming here, and then you could carry out all the debris to the sides and throw it down the hill.
So down here they were digging the tunnels under the French to explode, but these tunnels were going to stay.
Yeah.
So when they blew up, did they stay in the tunnels here? Or did they evacuate the tunnels when they actually set off the big bombs?
Of course, when they saw that the other side will blow up something, you
No,
know,
no.
they went away.
When they blew up their own,
On their own, they had to go away.
they
Yes.
left all the trenches too,
Yes,
right?
of
Yeah.
course.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
And here can you see how deep? And here, the only one, they dig until 100 meters deep, the Germans here, because they wanted to blow up the whole
The
hill.
whole hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Now the legend is they fill it with explosives. Is that true?
No.
Oh,
No.
you've destroyed my best
They
story.
No, they wanted to blow it up, but why they didn't? I think they did not have enough
Have enough
explosives.
explosives, yeah, at
It was
that
because-
stage, yeah.
Only you have 60 tons for the big explosion there,
Yeah.
so you think for to explode.
for a whole hill.
But you see, the French wanted to do the same thing. We found the
Stair.
Here you come out.
That's out.
Observation post
Oh, and that's
on the
out.
left. But something which would be interesting, go a little bit more forwards. On the left, you can look down the stair,
Further?
a little bit more. Yeah. No, here it is. Here you can go down. And you find the stair going down. You can go a little bit down. After the stair goes one side and the other side. But don't go too far because all down there can be water. And you see the little stair, you see
Yeah.
the men with their big boots.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they have gone notably smaller here.
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to go? Well, you want to wait until you go.
Roger, I'm not recommending you to come down here. I mean, I'll say it's easier to get up than it is to get down. This is amazing. Bloody amazing. Water bottles just sitting there. I mean, the only reason these water bottles are sitting there is because they've been left there. Look at this. This is absolutely amazing. This is amazing. I know I keep repeating myself. This is freaking amazing. Look at this. And that continues to the next gallery down. This continues. Honestly, this is one of the most interesting places I've been in a long time. And here they waged war and they dug. And it's not cold and it's not smelly. But I really don't want to be, really don't want to live here. But it's amazing. And I'm really glad that for the first time I actually wore a helmet. And here I needed it. Now this is full of water. That's flooded. It's amazing that there's water here. See, none of this was earth layers. This iron or it's right down here. This is continuous. It's continuous. It's amazing. I could spend all day down here. And one day when I come back, I will want to spend all day down here.
see? Keep hitting my head on things that are at an unnatural place in relation to where my head is. It's amazing. Yeah, one of them is flooded and the other one isn't, but we need a whole day.
Oh, yeah.
Roger, we're coming back. I want a whole day just crawling through this.
Look at that down there behind you, look at that.
I know.
Yeah, you can go down, but to come up is another thing.
Okay.
There are very big rooms down there.
Is there anything in them? Actually, coming up have been less of an issue than walking down, unless you have spiked
They're
shoes.
slippery, yeah.
We're bringing some proper hobnails,
Yeah.
and then we're coming back through this. Oh,
There's a wall. Yes. Look at that.
oh, is there?
A stone wall. And the horseshoe tunnel.
Where do you see a stone wall?
Oh, there. Behind you.
Behind me?
Yeah.
Here?
Stone wall.
Yes, of course we had to hold the rock up there, you know.
Oh, there,
If not, there are stones falling down all the time. Because there was a big hook for the pulley to bring up the debris.
This is an amazing place. So they built 16 kilometers of tunnels.
Yeah.
How many of them can you theoretically still get into?
So I asked them not long time ago, and they can walk. Not everybody, of course, but some they can walk in about 3 kilometers.
It already feels like we've been through half of that. Yeah, this low dip is very low.
Yeah.
This is the things I make the evil me makes. See what I do to Roger. See what I make him do.
Hardly bend my head any lower.
Here we have
Crawling
been
all
yet.
forward.
We go first here. We haven't been here.
Oh.
We think it could have been the room of the doctor, because it's near of the hospital.
And the bed is original. That's amazing. And they ran they ran electricity to the small rooms and even ventilation. Oh, wait a minute, he had a stove. He had a little stove of his own.
Of course, that's the doctor.
So where does the smoke go from the stove? You have to dig a very, very big hole, a long hole.
Of course. There were pipes going out.
And the wooden floor is still, well, I'm standing on it, so can't complain about the wooden floor. Here I am complaining at the wooden floor at Königsmacher. This is not older.
That's what it
This is actually younger than the day before it was there.
But they stopped building Königsmacher in 1914 when the war started. They
Yeah.
never finished it.
And the French did a little something to it too, but there's something very peaceful about being underground.
I think I have to switch off.
Okay.
Now we have light again. You see?
We do have light again, yes.
So, because before we didn't have a light. Somebody switched it out. Now it is on again. You see the young boy in here?
Is that what that was? That is what that is. What's the story there?
No idea. We just found the photo, but probably he has squeezed up in there and they tried to get him out.
Could it be after the war?
No.
But then again, he could have been 14 and signed up, or
Yeah.
it's.
You see, he's in a collapse.
Yeah.
Was he dead?
No. He's alive.
So how long did it take them to build this
What?
this tunnel system?
4 years?
4 years.
The time of the war?
So they continued to build throughout. I mean,
They worked all the time. Then we go upstairs.
and it's impossible to say how many people worked on this for how long. Because
Well, the Germans in here, they were always with about 1,500 men.
and they had dedicated miners who was doing this.
Yes. But the miners were soldiers as well.
Of
Not
course.
like the British, they were not paid specially.
So they recruited the miners
Yes.
into the army.
Yes.
And okay, well that's a cheaper way of doing it, I guess. And again,
So here now you have the map before we go out.
and we have the authentic floor, which is the most amazing part.
Yes. This was the commando post. So, and who asked for toilets and showers, there's all in there. You see, here you have where the Germans go down the debris from inside, and in here you have everything. You have showers, you have toilet, everything you needed.
Just on the outside.
Yeah, but inside as well, you have seen they had warm water.
Yes, yes.
And you know, they made all this gallery over there, you see? And behind there were the entrances. And here you can see some German soldiers under this gallery.
Under this gallery?
Yes, the one you see there, the French side. So we have been in here until here. You went down there. Of course, this we have not done. But the French galleries, you know, you went in here, you have to go out here. Here, here, here. And they were not connected to each other. Now, if you see the German side, everything is connected.
Yeah.
You can see all those stairs going up and down, the rooms everywhere. And this is the little piece we made here. About 300 meters.
Where does this map come from?
We had old maps, but they, you know, every year they take measures and they have to change something, or when they find some other tunnel.
So this is a current map.
Yeah.
It's not the original done by.
And it's from the original,
Yeah.
because the maps were there. Because as I told you, they had their people, they could exactly calculate where to make a tunnel, where it has to come out, how deep it has to be.
It's amazing the floor is still in good shape. That's.
There are some water pumps and things in the other room.
There's the water pump. This really is.
So, you see? Yes, this is our exit.
Okay.
I just. Oh, ventilation. Ventilation in place there.
Uh-oh, gets lower.
Ventilator.
Nice workmanship.
And here's the rest of the cement on the floor. If this was a French fort, there would be a bathroom right there. Yep. Now watch the stairs, Roger. They're a bit. Well, you've been there before. I mean, it's interesting after so much time underground, how the soldiers will feel when they finally saw their first daylight after.
Yeah. But you know, they did not wonder themselves. They had their duty to do, and they have done it.
Yeah.
Your ancestors are Prussian. You know how they are.
Yes, I know exactly.
My father was Prussian. So, you see,
Yep, we can explain it. It's hard to explain it to a generation today who is almost completely opposite.
so is it.
Amazing, 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 amazing. And they would use the basements in some cases for the trenches, the basements of the village that used to be here. I'm circling the trench. World War I was many things. It was not all about trenches. In this case, it's all about tunnels. And this is the basement, one of the old buildings that used to be here. See some of this stone. Was from an old house. And you come up here in the trench with a little mortar precision, what have you here. Tight squeeze, and it's the next tunnel entrance. Next one. This mesh is really something. And we're back to the basement of the old house again. Wow. Wow.
The developments and lessons learned here we will still see revised in bunkers and fortresses during the Second World War, and many of them are still in use today, the same techniques. This is a truly amazing place, and they are still finding new tunnels and rooms and bodies every year. The only thing holding up the progress is not having enough volunteers. I have been telling you for years how amazingly interesting World War I truly is. The technology, the fortresses, bunkers and forts. The modern war was thought out during the Franco-Prussian War, but it was perfected here. And I can't wait to show you more. So stay tuned.
My name is Tino Struckmann. I run Lost Battlefields. Every year I travel around the world to try to bring you to all the most interesting historical military locations from modern wars and World War II special projects, battlefields, forts, fortresses and tunnels, everything else. Things you may not be able to see or go to yourselves. Please join me on Patreon or join Lost Battlefields through the website so you get access to all my files and my notes. It really does help, and like, follow, share here on the channel if you can. That helps too.